Hey, I'm Amanda from Trifecta Fitness. We're proud to be Clarksville's new Get Fit headquarters. Trifecta Fitness is a state-of-the-art spin and strength training studio. Our spin studio is truly one of a kind in this area, complete with 20 state-of-the-art live fitness bikes and an incredible sound system. Our strength training is done in small groups of 6 or fewer, and all of our strength and spin classes are scalable for every level of experience. Come see us in the heart of Clarksville, just behind MAPCO at the corner of Old Trenton Road and Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. Call us for more info at 931-542-6265 or download our Trifecta Fitness app for a full list of upcoming classes.
Specializing in metal parts machining and fabrication since 1960, Girding Enterprises has excelled in the machining process. A truly American company, Girding Enterprises has gone from one-man shop in a basement to a world-class machine shop with over 20 employees. We strive to uphold the highest level of quality while constantly improving our efficiency level in order to offer the most affordable prices to our customers. Visit us online at girdingent.com or give us a call at 636-274-9802.
In October 2019, Arlington, Texas was chosen to be the home of a new national museum, unlike any other. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a unique home of military history. The 100,000 square foot museum will house exhibits, archives, and artifacts relating to the 3,500 U.S. troops who have been awarded the medal, the nation's highest honor for valor in combat. The museum will have 31,000 square feet of galleries dedicated to U.S. troops who have received the award. The museum CEO, former Navy SEAL and NASA astronaut Chris Cassidy, said the museum will focus on education as much as preservation. The building will have 5 areas dedicated to Medal of Honor winners from the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard. The main gallery will be located in a central plaza under a 25,000 square foot slab of steel, which will appear to be suspended in midair. It will be supported by 5 pillars. Black Rifle Coffee is a corporate sponsor of the museum, as are the Dallas Cowboys. The museum's board also includes over a dozen major corporations and 6 Medal of Honor recipients, including David Bellavia, Patrick Brady, and Britt Slabinski. Army Staff Sergeant Bellavia was awarded the medal for clearing an entire house by himself on November 10, 2004, as a squad leader in support of Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, Iraq. He killed 4 enemy fighters and wounded a 5th in close quarters battle. Army Major General Brady flew and coordinated the evacuation of 51 seriously wounded men during a firefight in Vietnam in January 1968. Slabinski, a Navy SEAL chief and team leader, led a rescue team of SEALs during Operation Anaconda in Afghanistan in March 2002. Slabinski and his team flew to a mountaintop ambush site to rescue Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts, who had fallen from the back of a helicopter. Slabinski led the team through almost constant combat against an entrenched Taliban force. Along with the board members, former presidents Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, and Barack Obama serve as honorary directors. The museum is expected to open to the public in late 2024.
All right. Welcome back. MisFitNation. We are a show founded by a veteran and hosted by 2 veterans and a military spouse. Our mission is to get people to tell their story to the world. If you're an author, share your tips with the MisFitNation. If you're a musician or actor, our audience needs to know how they too can get into the business. Coaches, we love our coaches. Come on and share some of your tips with the MisFitNation to help them become better versions of themselves. If you're a corporate leader or an entrepreneur, come on and share how you did it and how hard you have fought for success. If you're a veteran, first responder, or Gold Star family, we would love to have you come on and just share your story with the MisFitNation. We always have time for you. If you're feeling down, alone, or starting to see the darkness, stop. Think about those who are around you. You are not alone. You will be missed. If you feel like your problems will be a burden to those in your inner circle or are embarrassed, dial 988. If you are a veteran take option 1. We need you to keep pushing forward. Don't make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. If you're a new listener, welcome to the MisFitNation. Be sure to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast apps and also on our YouTube channel at @_MisFitNation. Subscribe and click the bell to keep you up to date with our latest episodes and all of our news. You can also find us on Heroes Media Group and About Face Radio. Now, let's get to the show. All right. Welcome back. It's Sunday night here, and we have a good one tonight, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to us and being patient with us as we went through a lot of travel, holidays, and everything that can come at us at one time. We're here tonight, and we have a good one tonight. Our next guest was motivated to become a real estate investor when her mom became sick in October of 2018. She was 53 and needed to make a change in her life quickly. She has been an insurance agent for over 20 years and has used her experience to make positive changes. Now, she shares her information weekly in her real estate group and Win-Win Women TV. In July 2020, she bought a bank-owned property for $20,000 that would go to auction for $50,000 when COVID restrictions lifted. She knew her capital gains would be $7,140 and researched how the rich paid so little in taxes. This led to her to find her business and beneficial Spendthrift trusts. Capital gain trust 3.8% of any profit. So without further ado, let's welcome Sally Gimon to the MisFitNation. Welcome, Sally.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. I'm sorry the light's not that great here.
No problem. How are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. We have some thunderstorms coming through, so if you hear things, that's the rumbling.
All right. Thunderstorms about normal this time of year, of course, with the high heat during the day, and then at night, of course, the cold fronts come in, and that's what happens to all of us down here. So we're ready for it if that happens to you. And if we see you blink out in and out, we understand why.
Hopefully that won't happen.
Definitely. I hope so. I hope everything with you stays calm and cool and collective. Sally, I gave a little bit about you there. Tell us a little bit more about you from as far back as you want to go to where we are now.
Excellent. Just to say, I love the beginning of your show. My father was a retired military. I used to work for USAA for 13 years, USAA Insurance Company. Unfortunately, my dad always wanted us to serve. My eyesight's so bad. I did 2 years with the Peace Corps in Poland from 91 to 93. And what's going on in Ukraine right now, it's amazing how many people speak English. When I was there in the early 90s, no one spoke English. But I decided, I was working as a Medicare broker. I was broke. I had credit card debt, student loan debt. My brand new car, 3 weeks old, silly me, did not take out gap insurance. If you know Phoenix, it was Indian School Road, a main road in Indian School. I was a second car in a green light. Someone ran the red light, T-boned me, no insurance. So I had 2 car payments and my mom got sick. Thank God my dad had TRICARE for life. She got better. But in December of 2018, there was a 27-page paper that folded in half this thick. It was her first month in the hospital. And the bill was $172,000. She had septic of the blood, so she was on a ventilator. And I'm like, I can't afford that. If something happened to me, I need to change my life. So I called my friend, Glenn. He's a real estate investor. He's like, we're having a Christmas party next week. We're going to be late. We've got a Christmas pageant to go to. But take some food and just show up. I don't know about you, but walking to a party by yourself, scary scenario. But it was the best decision of my life. Real estate has changed my life, helping people save their homes for foreclosures, helping, doing different things. But when as you said, that house, the auction house, I had 13 months to figure it out. In my national real estate group, there's a gentleman named Garrett Gunderson. He's one of the gentlemen who teaches a class. He wrote a book called What the Rockefellers Do. And I used that book to find this trust. And I'm helping people. Most people don't know when you sell a business, maybe you're selling a car wash or an Amazon store. you're going to pay 15 or 20%. What you bought the store for, what you sold it for, the in between. The federal government's going to charge you 15 or 20% on that. And, I just saved a couple. He's 69, she's 68. They sold the restaurant. They are saving at 15%, $460,000. At 20%, $600,000. I mean, it's life-changing for them for the retirement. If the rich can get away with it, why don't we learn about this in schools? We don't.
Definitely. And I like that you said, why don't we learn about this in schools? Things we don't learn about in schools are actually astronomical right now, because we don't learn about a lot of things like, hey, this is how you balance a checkbook. This is how
Exactly.
you get by in life. This is how you fix a car. This is how you change a tire. All those things went away probably at the late 80s, early 90s. We used to learn those things, and that all that stuff kind of got pushed away. And now it's up to things like what you did there. You read a book and you learned ways to get into the business a better way. And if you don't do that now, you're not no way you're going to get ahead.
Unfortunately, very, very true. And, I talk to people, who are, no one tells them what's going to happen when when IRS agents start saying you owe us thousands of dollars. They're like, they get scared. I mean, who wouldn't?
Exactly. I mean, why wouldn't you be scared if you don't know? You don't know what you don't know at that point. And I think you kind of cracked the egg, to be a cliche about it there, when you read the book and you got your foot in the door to understand, hey, I need to understand what I will owe if I own X, or what I need to do to help my parents get ahead after this big debt that they went into due to health.
Exactly. And, just to give you an idea, the Rockefellers, their trust is called the Office. This trust goes from generation to generation. So the Rockefellers Trust is 7 generations old, has almost 400 people in it. And, transfers of wealth. Unfortunately, both my parents passed away since then, but the transfer of wealth, their house, my parents bought a house near Luke Air Force Base in Luke Air Force Base is in Glendale. They lived in Goodyear. My dad's retired military. They bought the house for $135,000. And if we didn't have it in the trust, my brothers and I, $135,000, we sold it for just under $400,000. We'd have to pay the taxes on that if we didn't know how to do this in the trust. And, I'm not saying we're anybody special. We're just regular people. My brother runs a brewery. My other brother is a federal agent, and, trying to save money. Everyone should be saving money.
Definitely. And not giving excess money to the government when you don't need to.
Exactly. The rich know this. I'm not trying to make fun of, there's a safety net for poor people. The rich know this. It's the middle class in between that gets squeezed. One of the gentlemen in my group, if you don't mind me telling a story,
okay.
On Super Bowl Sunday, 2021, the 4th time he went to go door knock on this house. The gentleman had passed away. It's going to auction March 1st. He caught the daughter about to leave. This is in Buckeye, 30 miles west of Phoenix. She was just about to go back to Los Angeles at night because her car was old. He was able to get her dad's new car, stop the auction, get her some money, and then he wholesaled it. Well, my friend Kelly is a retired preacher from New Hampshire, just trying to make extra money. And he sold it for $50,000. And I told him, you're going to have capital gains of $11,900 because I've got bills to pay. I don't know what I'm going to do. In 2022, he drove Uber 6 nights a week because he had a $990 a month tax bill to the IRS. And he's just like, I didn't plan to do this in my 60s. This is not my idea of what I wanted to do. He now has a trust because he does real estate in Phoenix. I have the trust also helps 1099 income earners save up to 70% of their federal taxes so they can start a charity, pay down get someone a new car. They can decide what they're going to spend the money on.
Exactly. And I think you're hitting the nail on the head there. A lot of us, as our parents get older, and they did not plan for this portion of life because it was an unknown portion of their lives. Basically, they didn't know that they need to basically set up a trust, especially with like you said, the middle class portion. Our parents and most people we know were in that I need to work to make sure my family had X, Y, and Z, and they didn't worry about what happened outside of X, Y, and Z. They just made sure there was food on the table. Our kids had everything that we thought they needed, not what they wanted, but we didn't think about the next step, the trust portion. And I think what you're hitting on there is something a lot of listeners need to know about.
I appreciate you having me on the show. They say 60% of Americans have a side hustle. Maybe they're doing an online store. Maybe they're doing an affiliate marketing situation. They're trying to make extra money, but they're paying more in taxes. And if there's a solution, I mean, maybe it's not for you today, but at least you have a solution and know something. That's why I appreciate you having me here.
Oh, I appreciate you bringing this knowledge to the audience. The Misfit Nation always is looking for those who can bring knowledge to us and help us for the next steps in life. And what I mean, a spread thrift or a trust is something it's hard to say. Obviously,
Yes.
I've tripped over it 3 times now. I've tripped over it. Can you explain a little more about what it actually is and how maybe they can get their, I guess, parents to start one so they don't have to worry about it, or maybe they can start one so their kids don't have to worry about it?
Correct. Just to give you an idea, 97% of the trusts in the United States today, my parents had this, Susie Orman talks about this on TV. It's called a family trust. It avoids going through probate, which is a nice thing, but then it dissolves. This trust comes from England. There's rich history. Back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England, he got in trouble for chopping off his wives' heads. So he started the church so he could divorce his wives. He went to tax the lords and ladies of England. The lords and ladies went even further back into history to the Magna Carta. So the Magna Carta, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry. But, this is, it came over as a contract to the colonies before we were a country. The law firm I work on behalf has a trust that's turning 350 years old in 2023. So this has been around forever. Most people don't realize the U.S. tax code did not get written until 1913. Trust me, the Rockefellers and other rich families knew how to write the taxes. So this is in tax code 643B, like Bravo. So it's way up here. Most CPAs, I'll never be a CPA, I'm dyslexic, but most CPAs work in the 300, 400 level. 97% of the people who file taxes will do that, and they file a 1041 federal taxes. Because this trust, the full name, irrevocable, generation to generation, complex, it can hold money, discretionary, whoever is the trustee can make the rules for the beneficiaries, non-grantor makes it 100% private. When you start it, you're going to have someone who's not a beneficiary sign up and then sign away for the trust. And then Spendthrift, it's been in front of the U.S. Supreme Court twice. So it's in the IRS. It's been in front of the Supreme Court twice. Both times it's been allowed with this. And it's a contract. So if Congress decides, hey, we're going to change things. Let's say I'm Irish. So let's say they decide March 17th, 2024, they're going to change the Spendthrift Trust. If you started the trust in July of 2023, they can't come back and change the trust you already started. It's a contract that can't be changed. Some very rich people have it. I don't want to drop names or anything, but there's a real estate guru out there who I have on recording saying that he doesn't want people to know this. So he comes to your hometown. Are you a real estate investor at all?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, let's say you're looking at a house, a possible wholesale house, but skinny. You're only going to make 8% return on investment. This real estate guru wants to swoop in, take that 8% return on investment, plus save the 23.8%. So he's going to make over 30% return on investment. And he doesn't want people to know about that. I'm like, you teach people how to invest in real estate and you're not telling them how to save money. That's just, I think that's insane. I think that's so wrong.
That's bogus is what that is right there. And it's kind of, I would say it's cliche, but it's also what most people who make a lot of money, they don't want to share how they did it with others because they fear that others will make money as well. And that's the problem, I think, with a lot of things. If I'm doing well, I don't want those who are down here to do well as well. Also, so I'm not going to tell them how to do it.
And one of my favorite books, it's an older book. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. Wallace D. Waddle says there's plenty out there. What you're doing won't affect what I'm doing, what somebody else is doing. And, this guru has thousands of followers, and he's letting them flounder. He's not letting them figure out how to save taxes. And some of his followers are my clients now, and I'm like, he has this trust, and it's just wrong. I mean, I try to make it as inexpensive as possible. You talked about your parents and your grandparents. With this trust, let's say you start your own trust. You start here, then you can decide who the beneficiaries are. So you could put your mom and dad as beneficiary. You could put your cousin. You could put your children in, and it goes. I just talked to true story. She's in the Army in Virginia. She's got 2 brothers and a mom. Mom's got Airbnbs. She's got her house in Virginia, and she's got 2 other houses. Her dad unfortunately passed away. He had 3 paid off houses, and he gave them to the 3 children, her and her 2 brothers. She's just like, I think we need 5 different trusts. I'm like, no. You need one trust. You could be the beneficiary, or you can make your mom the beneficiary, the trust beneficiary. Then you decide who's going to be, the beneficiaries of that trust. And then each person, there's an EIN. Each person opens their own bank account. So the 3 houses her 2 brothers and she are on. They all are together. Her 2 rental houses, her brothers have no access to. Her mom's 5 Airbnbs, she has no access to. Their cars and the vehicles are in the trust. They're saving thousands of dollars with one family trust. And she's just like, this is amazing, because it saves rental income, dividend income, interest income, and royalties. I've got people who are doing NFT artwork or NFT crypto saving money too.
So how hard is it to actually set up a trust?
Not hard. There is there's an application. It is a contract. So let's I don't want to give a date of what they were doing this, but it's a bit early July. So I had a gentleman who was going to I got a team who wholesales houses in Victoriaville, California. He was going to wholesale one house and sell it and make $50,000, but he's got 4 more houses all going to come up. So what he did was he filled out the application, got the EIN bank account, opened it up. He didn't sell the house until June 30th. 4th of July got involved with things. So he didn't pay for the trust until July 5th. He went back, paid for the trust. He saved $11,900 on that one house, got the trust. And now his next 3 houses are online to be wholesaled in the next few months, are all in the trust, and he's going to save, 4 times 11, I got to figure this out, $44,000. It's just, rounding it up. He's going to save that, but he was able to pay for the trust after he got paid for selling his new fix and flip. I work with business brokers. Again, the gentleman selling the restaurant, another gentleman selling 49 shares of a marketing company. He's getting out. He saved $100,000, and now he's paying for his daughter to go to veterinarian school with this money he's saving. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. That's a ton of money. If you take a step back and look at it from beyond, as you take those steps up from, hey, I am selling X house, but my child might make money off this as well, and then that child make money as well. So those steps, they kind of gain out. So it's a lot of things that go into this. I'm going to start a trust thing. And the EIN, explain what an EIN is.
Oh, you're going to ask me the initials, and I don't know. It comes from the federal government. It's the Social Security number for a business. We've got our 9-digit Social Security number. So usually it's 3 numbers, dash 2 numbers, and then 4 numbers. EIN has 2 numbers, dash, and then 7 numbers. So it's if you have an LLC, you get an EIN number. So the team I work with, the law firm I work with, they set this up for you. We work with you to transition whatever you're dealing with. One of my clients was going to sell. He got involved with Bitcoin very early, back in 2013. He was going to sell 4 Bitcoin coins to pay for his son to go to school. He saw one of my videos on TikTok, and I'm like, no, don't do it. You're going to pay the capital gains April 15th. The son was going to school September 2022. For those capital gains, April 15th, 2023. He had to do a little bit of paperwork. His Bitcoin were on, if you know Coinbase, the platform, he had to get them to switch over everything. So it took him about 6 to 8 weeks to get everything taken care of. He paid for the trust. when he sold the coins. Then he paid for his son. His son took out student loans, paid off the son's going to college, and will be able to pay for the son to go to college for the next 4 years and not pay taxes on that. And the father was going to have a bill of over $23,000 in because they sold 4 Bitcoins. That's a lot of money to come up with if someone didn't know that.
Exactly. And I know when Bitcoin first came out, a lot of people were like, oh no, I'm not going to touch that because I don't know what it is. And the unknown kind of steered a lot of people away from Bitcoin or any of the coin, the I guess the digital coin stuff at that point. Now, as Bitcoin is, I think it's what, 15,000 a share or more.
Something crazy.
Yeah, it's insane right now. So those people that stood back and said, I don't want to touch it, now are like, oh, maybe I want to reach in. You can still reach in now and maybe throw half of a share in or a portion of a share in and still make some money. But it's still, the fear is what kept a lot of people out. Do you think fear keeps a lot of people out from away from making a trust for their families?
I believe so. A true story. I do a Monday night, 8 p.m. East Coast time Q&A. I had people come on. One of the people who came on, he's a son. He's in his 30s. His parents have 5 apartment buildings in the Bronx. The parents, he's got a brother, and they don't want to get into real estate, but the parents want to sell these buildings and everything else. Came to the meeting, sent him the information. He contacts me saying their CPA in the Bronx doesn't believe this. So a very good book. It's a textbook for people who are going to be trust attorneys. It's called Scott and Asher. The second name is Ascher. Scott and Asher on Trusts, 5th edition. I said to the CPA, hey, read this book. He calls me a week later and he goes, I'm going to help them sell the apartment buildings, and I have 100 more clients I need you to talk to. Because he's referring people to me when, again, back to this, the people who sold the restaurant, the business broker sent me this. When they sold the restaurant, we waited to the end of the month. Then they paid for the trust, and then I got paid the next day. And then I gave the business broker $600 as a referral fee. He wanted it by Zelle, so I just Zelled it to him. Because he's bringing me clients, his clients love him. The gentleman who sold the restaurant has brought him 3 more clients saying they saved me 6 figures in capital gains. You need to talk to the business broker's name's Brian. You need to talk to Brian because he can help you save money. And Brian's like, this is amazing. So yeah, win-win for everybody.
Definitely. Sally, and we're talking about trust. We're talking about saving money. What is the circle of wealth?
Circle of Wealth is something that I've started up. Thank God I have great friends. One of the things I had going into COVID was I had 12 notes where I'm the mortgage. I'm the bank on the house. People are paying me their mortgage. Unfortunately, all of a sudden, April 1st, I was usually making about $4,000 a month from the mortgages. It just dried up. People thought, hey, you don't have to pay your mortgage anymore. What are you going to do? So a friend of mine, Veronica Grant, got me involved with, have you ever heard of gift giving?
No.
Do you remember, this is several years ago, do you remember the Christmas fires in Tennessee back in Christmas 2016, and Dolly Parton was giving people who lost their homes $15,000 a piece?
Yes, the wildfires, yes.
Wildfires. She was using a tax, here in 2023, you can gift somebody up to $17,000 tax-free. So with my Circle of Wealth, the first step are 2 questions. Hey, can you physically do this? And will you mentally do this? If you say yes to one of them and no to the other one, this is not for you. So you have to say yes to those questions. Second one is, I have it as gift giving tree. It's one time, $10. You have to recruit 3 people. I ask people to contact me because I'm backfilling for some of my people who haven't recruited enough. So I have to place you correctly. When you get one person, you gift somebody $10, you get your 3 people. That means you get gifted $3, $1, you get paid back. So you're at 0, even Steven. The other 2 people, $10 and $10, you're up onto the $20 board. There are 4 levels on the first board. You're going to make over $7,500 tax-free going through all the 4 levels because you're doing the money. There's a second board, and then you're going to make more money on that. That's step one. Step two, I suggest, hey, start a business. Sally sells silver. I sell silver coins. I have Trends card where you're doing your own banking. There's different things to help people start their own business. Very inexpensive. Step four, if you want to get involved with real estate, you'll have. I'm going to ask you to, in my national real estate group, to get the first 11 essential classes. It's $2,000. You have now money coming in, so you can afford this. And then by the time you get to step five, that's the trust, and then you're going to keep making money, putting money through, learning new things, and it's just my way of paying back. Because if people didn't help me when I needed help, I would be broke still. I would still have the worst job in the world. I was a Medicare broker. In my water bottle, this sounds horrible, I was putting alcohol into my water bottle to go to work. You shouldn't be working like that.
That's not like in life when you just start doing that, when you have to have the alcohol or probably vodka or whatever you have, whatever your
whiskey. I'm Irish whiskey.
Irish, there you go, whiskey. Whatever your taste there was in your water bottle, just to go to work or just to be working, it's not good there at all. And I think everything you've been sharing right now shows that there's ways to make it out of the bottom to the top, and understand that there's levels for everybody in there, and things that we can all do to be successful as far as fiscally and financially as we grow in our lives.
Just to give somebody a new idea, if you make an extra $7,500 in a few weeks, you could pay down bills, you could pay off someone's car, you could, maybe go on a vacation somewhere with your family, and then, and that's all you need to do is just one time and find 3 other people, and $10. I started this, true story. I'm a huge football fan. So on Sundays I go to Little Caesars Pizza. I get cheese pizza in South Carolina, $7.72. So back first game of 2021, I'm a New England Patriots fan. I lived in Boston before Brady got there, but I didn't get my cheese pizza. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put that $7.20 towards the gift giving and see how this goes. I'm now going through the second board, and I have people paying me $400, gifting me $400, and I'm gifting somebody else $800 and making money. With my dad, true story, my dad had his bank account on Luke Air Force Base. I don't have a military ID, so I couldn't go to the bank and close it out until I got the correct paperwork and everything. So I left Phoenix when my father passed away. I had taken the money from his account. He had 2 seats on my $100. I do a $100 gift giving board. He had 2 seats. He had done that. I went back to Phoenix in March of 2020 to shut everything down. In his bank account, there was an extra $56,000. I knew things were moving, because it's on my phone. But that $56,000, I inherited his accounts, and I'm Sky Harbor Airport. I'm texting my 2 brothers, going, I can gift you $16,000. This is all I'm going to gift you from this, because you'll have to pay taxes. Then you can get on the board. Well, when I originally offered it to my brothers, they said no. But when they found out my dad that made so much money, they're now part of the gift giving board too. That they're doing the $100 board, not the $10 board. They're like, this is amazing. We're making money so easily. And I'm like, I got introduced to it, and I'm glad Veronica told me about it. But so many people have never heard about gift giving. It's just an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, it's very it's hard to understand when you don't know what you don't know is kind of what most listeners will in their ears of saying, I did not know that. I don't know how I did not know that, because you don't know what you don't know. If you don't, like you learned on the fly how to do this stuff, and by reading, by going through trials and tribulations. How do you help others? Like, if you're just not just family, others, how do you go about helping them?
I keep going back to my mom. My mom was a wonderful human being. She left Ireland, age 16, very poor. She'd never seen electricity. She went to London to become a nurse and a midwife. First time she saw electricity. Funny little story that my younger brother and I do still, but my older brother doesn't remember it. Rich, if you remember back when you were a kid being potty trained, in the morning you do your business and then you wash your hands. My mom says to me, every time you wash your hands, look in the mirror and smile and say, I love you, Sally. Someone has said, I love you that day. So I still do this every day. So this was last year, July. I was going to go to a Walmart in South Carolina. I'm in North Carolina, but very close to the South Carolina border. The road I needed to go on was closed for tar, and I had to go 40 miles a different way to get there. Every 2 miles, there's a very poor Baptist church in the South. The roofs are caving in, there's grass, everything else. So I made a nonprofit, and I'm starting to teach this in different churches. And I go to the preacher or whoever's in charge and say, this is what I would like you to do. And you'll talk to your congregation, and what they'll do is they'll start and they'll tell their congregation, this money we're getting gifting, we're going to fix the roof. This money we're gifting, maybe we're going to get a new air conditioning unit or a water thing. And I go in for one evening and I teach it to people and tell them, here's how to do it. And I right now have spoken to 7 different churches, and I'm helping people, just regular people, get. Do you know how many senior citizens don't get their medications filled because they're afraid of not having money? I mean, this is heart medications. The people who, if they only want to do the gift giving tree, they can change their life, Rich. Just make an extra $7,500 and pay for the deductible for their heart medication. True story about my mom. She got sick. My nephew's wedding was October 28th, 2018. She was put into Pineville, which is just outside of Charlotte Hospital, on a ventilator. There were 24 people in the hospital. I came out for Christmas in 2018. On her floor, there were 24 people, including her. 4 people in the hospital took their family loved ones off the ventilator against doctor's orders to take them home, because the next day they would have to pay a large deductible if they're on an Advantage plan. I got an extra 3 months with my mom. I mean, she lost her memory for 13 months, but she came home for 3 months. She got better. She was there. The last thing I did for her was I gave her a shower and I went to work. And as I'm running out of their house, change of clothes. I'm like, hey, Mom, I'll see you later. She goes, I love you, Sally. Take care. That's the last word she said to me. She had a heart attack later that night. Those were the most wonderful words. And so when I put the Circle of Wealth together on July 30th, going to get my oil change, I forgot it was the 2nd anniversary of my mom's death until the next day when I saw, what day it was on Monday. And I'm like, wow, I think she had a hand in that. I really think my mom talks to me, works through me, because she was a very religious person.
She kind of pushed you through that point. I had another guest on here earlier, probably about 100 episodes ago now. And
wow,
I was talking to him, and he said, I can see your mother behind you, and she's saying she's proud of you. And that lifted me up. I mean, I already was lifted up by doing this show and helping people and trying to get others to understand that there's people out here that want to help you, and there's stories out there that need to be told. But once he said that my mom was behind me and that she is proud of me and wants me to keep pushing forward, that made me want to keep pushing forward now. And I'm now at 284 episodes, and that just made me feel my chest pumped. Of course, like you, every time you help somebody, I'm sure you feel that chest pump. It just made me feel so much better, and I'm sure that helps you as well.
Well, just give you an idea, Rich. When I sell a trust, my mom grew up very food insecure. She was 6 years old when World War II started. Ireland, they couldn't get food coming into Ireland. So every time I sell a trust, I do a donation to St. Mary's Food Bank in Phoenix in her name, because she honestly believed nobody in America should go hungry. I don't want to take the credit. It's her. She got from rural Ireland, Donegal, Ireland, 12 miles from the northern border, Northern Ireland. She got from there, met my dad in Alaska. They traveled all over the world together. But she always made sure people, she always wanted to help people we shouldn't be starving in America. That's just the worst thing in the world.
100. I agree with you 100%. I think if we can help our fellow brothers and sisters here in America, that's the first step. If we
Yes.
can start to get everyone to, like what you're doing with trusts and teaching people what trust can do for them and the circle of wealth, that can help those who live here in America to fulfill their lives and maybe fulfill the lives of the children that they're having, and maybe those all around in their whole circle, to make sure that everyone is doing well instead of struggling throughout their whole life.
Exactly. Just, you know, maybe you as one guest changed your life, saying your mom's behind you, very proud of you. You know, it changed your life. Maybe I can change somebody else's life today, and because you have the show. How many episodes? 240?
284.
284. Congratulations. My podcast is only 25, so
You're gonna get there. It's gonna happen. Passion is what gets you going, and I think I can feel your passion just talking to you right now. And I think if one listener listens to you and hears what you're saying, what one of our things we like to say here: reach one, teach one. If
yes.
you reached one of our listeners today and you taught them a little bit, and maybe they'll be able to make that next step to stay ahead and maybe help others, that's amazing.
It is. And you know, you in your pre-show you had a thing about the Medal of Honor recipients. When I was working for USAA, I'm going to get the year wrong, but it was 2008 or 2010, they had Medal of Honor recipients in Phoenix, and I was assigned one Medal of Honor recipient to drive him from his hotel to where it was. You know, I just saw a news report. Our military for the past 50 years has been a completely volunteer service, and people don't realize. I mean, when the Gulf War was going on, my mom would always say to me, you know, when Vietnam was happening, I knew people who were in Vietnam. She goes, I know nobody other than who you're working with at USAA, because people, so few people are in the military, but they're protecting our freedom.
Exactly, and like you said, during Vietnam, we still had the draft at that point, and
Yes.
now when 9/11 occurred, a lot of people just started raising their hand and saying, "I want to join. I want to fight for my country." And that 1% of America who fights for the country and joins the military, it's different now than it was then because it's not forced. You knew you were signing up when you raised that right hand, and I'm going to join. I know I have to go into harm's way, and that's the difference now. Beyond the heroism that happened during Vietnam, those men and women that went to Vietnam with no choice whatsoever. Hey, you have to serve, or you're going to do X or Y or Z. Now it's the men and women now, they sign up and they know there's a chance they're going to go and be in harm's way, and it's a totally different, I guess, spectrum. But it's still awesome that we both can serve and look back and say thank you to those who served back then in Vietnam, because they did so much for us now.
The whole military. I mean, when you think about it, we're going to be celebrating 250 years soon as a nation. How this nation has come together, like you talked about 9/11, how we come together to help each other and just grow together, because Thanksgiving is such an amazing day in the United States. I don't care. You know, my father, I'm first, second, and third generation American. You know, my mom's from Ireland. My dad, you know, we don't have turkey and stuffing. We have something else. But
Right.
that one day of the year, it doesn't matter your race. It doesn't matter your religion. It doesn't matter where you're from, what you do, how you do it. It's just a day to say thank you, that we have so much to be grateful here in the United States.
100%. And if you can't be thankful for what you have, then you have to think about other things you need to do to make yourself understand that you have a good life, and there's other things you can do. And like the things we talked about earlier, like the circle of wealth, capital gains, the trusts, all those things that can help you have a better life,
Yes.
all come from other people's sacrifices.
Exactly. And, you know, like with you doing this podcast, allowing me to come on, Rich, you know, to tell my story and maybe help somebody and maybe give somebody hope. I mean, I don't know about you. I've lost too many friends to COVID. During COVID, I lost friends, drug overdoses, other things. They lost help and hope. And it's just sad to lose somebody when there's such potential out there that anybody could change the way they're going.
Definitely. I think if we can help those who don't understand that there's people out there to help them, I think
Yes.
we can all gain from them as well. Sally, this has been great chatting with you about trusts, about capital gains, about investing, about circle of wealth. How does people get in contact with you to understand ways to do this for themselves?
I appreciate that. My website, thetrustisyou.com. When you go out there, it's a free 18-minute video to tell a little bit more about the trust, because so few people know about it. I mean, CPAs are telling me it's a lie, and then when they read the book, the Scott and Asher book, they're like, "Oh, now I understand." So, they go out to The Trust Is You, watch the video. It gets emailed to you. Then you can set an appointment. For the Circle of Wealth, it's Learn, LEARN, with Sally Marie. My older brother named me after a cat, and my mom's like, firstborn daughters from Ireland have to be named Mary. So, yeah, I got named after a feral cat named Sally.
Outstanding. You kept the traditions alive. That's good.
Correct. So I'm going super red, but yes, the cat, when we went to Ireland, the first time I went to Ireland, it used to sit on the stool, and you had to go through the door to get to the hallway for the bathroom. I was wearing shorts. She scratched me down my thigh. I still have those marks of this horrible cat named Sally that I got named for.
Wow. All
It was
right.
the meanest cat.
Sally, thank you for coming on tonight, and thank you for sharing all your information, all your knowledge with the Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation is always appreciative of great knowledge and great information that can help them be to better themselves as they move forward in life.
Thank you, Rob. I hope you have a wonderful summer, okay?
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thanks for checking us out and being a part of the Misfit Nation. Don't forget to visit our website at themisfitnation.com. It's themisfitnation.com to catch up on all of our episodes and also to get some of that great Misfit Nation gear. As always, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are